What's up, everybody? It's your boy J-Rod and welcome to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to be going over the new travel updates for people planning on traveling to Brazil in the year of 2024. Okay, so this is some new information that I feel like I should share to people just in case you were planning on traveling to this country in this next upcoming year. But before I start this video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. All right, so if you do plan on traveling to Brazil in the year 2024, starting January 10th, they are going to be implementing new entry requirements. So if you reside in the United States, Canada, and Australia, you are now required to complete an e-visa upon entry of the country, okay? This e-visa is $80 US. It's technically $80.90 if you want to be extra technical. But yes, it's $80 US, and you must do this after you purchase your plane ticket. Okay, so there are going to be a few verification things that you must submit before you travel. So in this e-visa, they're going to want to see your to and from plane ticket showing proof that you have a return ticket. They're also going to need to see a transaction of your bank history over the past 30 days, and you must have a minimum of $2,000 in your bank account. These are the new requirements starting January the 10th, and here's my take on this, okay? All right, now for me personally, y'all already know how I feel about Brazil. Brazil is my all-time favorite country, okay? In addition to the Dominican Republic, I think those two countries are like neck and neck, but I really love Brazil. Like, if I could go to Brazil tomorrow, I would do everything and just stop and go there because it is just one of the best countries I've ever been to. However, one of the things that I did pride Brazil so much for was their smooth entry process, okay? It was so easy to get in and out the country. And it's like now they're adding like this additional requirement for you to be able to travel there. It kind of can seem like a little hurdle, but we're gonna talk about that. All right, so number one, just the inconvenience of like getting new visa photos. I mean, this ain't the first country that requires visa photos. Like, you want to go to China, you got to get a visa photo. And then also in addition to that, it is an $80 visa fee, which is like, whatever. But getting the pictures made for the visa, that's not necessarily a big deal. It's just more so of an inconvenience or an annoyance. But I mean, if you plan it enough in advance, then you'll have time to do it. That's not really a problem. My main concern is the 30 days of transaction statement history. You know, it's like, why do you need this information, okay? Like, I don't get that. You know, that's a little bit intrusive. It's an invasion of privacy, you know? It's like, why do you need to see what I'm spending my money on? I don't necessarily think a country should have that much access to you, considering the fact that they already have your identity with your passport alone. It's like, why do you need my transaction statement history? Like, are we buying a house? Are we buying a car? Like, what are we doing, bro? You know, that's the type of stuff they look for when you about to like buy a big purchase. Like when, you know, I bought my car the other week. Shout out to my new whip. All right, I'm in love with that car, y'all. Like, that car is amazing. And then too, with sensitive information like that, it can get lost, it can get leaked, it can get stolen, hacked. See, I be looking at like the bigger picture. So like, you know, what if I go to a country that isn't necessarily favorable towards Americans and I have an issue at customs, and then they're like, you know, like, we about to bribe this dude, we about to get some money out of him. You know, they decide to pull those bank statements and they be like, oh, he make this much amount of money, got him. You know, like, I be thinking of little stuff like that, you know, almost as if they're bribing you based off the amount of money you make or the income you have, you know. I've talked about that before, where I've been to certain countries where I've been extorted or bribed just because of their perception of, oh, like, he's from America, like, he must got money. So it's like now they can pull up your bank statement history and they could be like, oh, well, he makes this amount of money, so we definitely could highball him. You know, just little things like that. Now, in terms of the $2,000 as a minimum to travel, I mean, that's not really a big deal. Personally, I feel like if you don't have $2,000 in your bank, then you really shouldn't be traveling. Like, you gotta get your priorities right, boy. I do feel like you should have at least $2,000. I would hope you have at least $2,000 if you're going out the country, and especially as far as Brazil is. But you know, like, I be reading through like different travel forums and stuff, and some people are trying to say that, you know, it's to keep out a certain demographic of people, which I be seeing a lot of, like, they trying to keep out the Pookies and Ray Rays and the Passport Bros, which, by the way, I'm not in any of these groups. I represent myself, I'm J-Rod, so I do kind of get tossed into that a lot. Like, people will try to be like, oh, you a Passport Bro. It's like, no, I'm just a solo traveler. I'm J-Rod. I represent myself. Yeah, like, I do be seeing that a lot about, like, they say, like, the Pookies and Ray Rays. And if you don't know what a Pookie and Ray Ray is, go look it up. I'm not about to explain this on this channel, but basically, I don't entirely think that's 100% true, only because they're including Canada and Australia in this. And Canada and Australia are not countries that are typically associated with Pookies and Ray Rays or Passport Bros. You know, that's more of like an American thing. And truth be told, contrary to popular belief, the Pookies and Ray Rays or the Passport Bros, those are the ones that actually really do be spending the money. Okay, like, I mean, take Sosua as a prime example. Like, they be like balling out in the clubs. Like, you go to Colombia or whatever, they be the ones that actually be spending money in the clubs and throwing dollars everywhere. Or if they go to Thailand, be throwing money in the streets. Okay, it's not so much about the money, it's the behavior, like the clownery or the foolishness that happens in these countries that get associated with those groups of people. But yeah, if you go to like Sosua, Dominican Republic, like those do really be the ones that be like spending the money, or what some people would call like tricking off. So I don't think Brazil's decision by doing this is directed entirely to that group of people. I do think it has a lot to do with inflation. Okay, Brazil does have a huge inflation problem, and so they probably do want travelers that are going to be willing to spend a lot of money. But overall, I don't know how this is going to affect their tourism. You know, we'll see. I already know a lot of people don't like traveling to Brazil because the flight is like on average 10 hours from the United States. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people do get turned off to it, which I'm not complaining because, you know, like I said, I think when stuff gets too saturated with foreigners, that's when it kind of like goes into a decline. And I mean, you've seen this in other countries that I mentioned before, like Dominican Republic. There are certain places in the Dominican Republic where it's like too saturated with tourists. And then the same thing in Colombia. Colombia, I'm starting to see is slowly getting like this. But I don't really see this happening to Brazil anytime soon, especially with all these new requirements entering the country. And then another reason why a lot of guys don't like traveling out to Brazil is because they speak Portuguese. Okay, like they don't speak Spanish out there. They do not speak Spanish in Brazil, okay? People do be DMing me and asking me that. No, they do not speak Spanish in Brazil, they speak Portuguese. But yeah, so, but yeah, like I said, the $2,000 thing, don't have a problem with that. You know, taking the photos for the visa, don't really have an issue with that. But the bank statement thing, I'm just looking down the pipeline, how this is gonna affect travel, because like I said, now they're asking for more and more information. You know, what is it gonna be next? Are you gonna ask for hair samples, blood samples, credit scores? Like, I really do think like within the next 15 to 20 years, like paper passports, that's gonna be a thing of the past. You know, it's gonna be like a digital system. They're probably gonna scan your fingerprints. You know, people think it cannot get like this, but I mean, we already seen what happened with the pandemic. You know, I never would have thought in my lifetime I would walk into a grocery store and all the food would be gone. Like, seriously, when the pandemic happened, you know, that's the type of stuff you see in movies, and it's just like, wow, like, never in my life thought that I'll be able to walk into a grocery store and not be able to buy food, because everybody has hoarded everything. And, you know, you walk down the aisles, all the rice is gone, all the toilet paper is gone, okay, all the meat is gone. Like, I remember I went to try to go buy groceries during the pandemic. I was like, bro, like, this is some stuff you've seen in like textbooks during the Great Depression. I didn't think that this would happen in my lifetime. So, like I said, in the future, I don't know what this holds for travel and in terms of what more information that they want from you. But this is something that can be a little bit concerning, and that's just something that you need to keep an eye out for. I mean, I do understand it from a security standpoint. They don't want just anybody waltzing their way into the country, you know, but I just feel like that's a bit much, but I'm still gonna do it. All right, I'm complaining now, but my ass still gonna be the first person in line stamping my passport. Because like I told you, I love Brazil. Like, you know, I'll still be out there. I'll be the first person in line getting that passport stamped. All right, so whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. But I do feel like it is getting kind of crazy, some of the requirements that some of these countries are needing just for you to travel there. But y'all, if you got any questions, you know where to hit me up. I'm gonna leave all the information down below to the U.S. travel government's website if you want more information about the entry requirements for going to Brazil. But I hope you all have a happy new year and stay safe out there. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.